Dear students, today I am going to talk about the regional injuries of chest, abdomen, and pelvis. The regional injuries are broadly classified into closed and open. You are aware about it. When it comes to the regional injuries of the chest, again there is a non-penetrating or closed injuries and penetrating or open injuries. The closed injuries are generally caused by blunt force. It is in the form of the road traffic accident or fall from height on the rough surface, or in the case of assault, that is impact by blunt objects like wooden plank. And the injuries are in the form of abrasion or contusion of the chest wall externally, and internally there may be contusion as well as laceration of the internal organs like lungs, heart, larger vessels, and esophagus. These internal organs are may or may not be associated with external injuries. That is, the organs may be injured inside, but externally chest appears to be absolutely normal. Or vice versa, there may be abrasion or contusion or even laceration of the chest, but internally the ribs cage, sternum, as well as the internal organs are in situ. They were absolutely normal. Or maybe vice versa, that may be fracture. Even sometimes there may be fracture of ribs, but sternum is intact and internal organs are intact like that. And very rarely, when there is a blunt trauma to the chest, which produces concussion of the chest, leading to shock and death. Even though there is internal organs are absolutely normal, they were in situ. It is because of that concussion impact there is a vasovagal shock which leads to death. Then the open injuries of the chest are most oftenly it is stab injuries. It is homicidal assault by a penetrating or pointed object, and followed by there may be accidental fall from the height over a pointed projectile object, or otherwise pointed, or otherwise very rarely the firearm injuries. The penetrating injury to the chest, which damages the pleura and produces open pneumothorax, that is, communicating directly with the external air. The stab wound to the heart, it, when there is an oblique stab wound over the chest, it may enter the abdominal wall and injure the organs like most oftenly the liver, it may be injured. The rib cage may be fractured either due to direct violence or indirect violence. The indirect violence of the chest produces multiple and often bilateral fractures. So along the mid-axillary line on the anteriorly and posteriorly and near the angle, that is at posterior angle, there may be fracture of ribs, and it is most of the time multiple. And most often fractures are the fourth to eighth ribs are most commonly fractured. And in indirect violence, the fragments are often driven inside and lacerate the internal structures. That is, most often the lungs are get lacerated. In a fall from height or run over by a vehicle, the ribs fractures symmetrically, that is on both the side. You can have a look here on the right side as well as on the left side. Again, the fractures may be anteriorly as well as posteriorly. Anteriorly, it is near the costochondral junction where there is a cartilaginous and one junction, the costochondral junction, and in the back it is near the posterior angle. Bilaterally as well as anteriorly and posteriorly, symmetrically, there will be fracture. The sternum is the least common fractured bone in the chest injuries, but it may fracture by direct violence as well as in the indirect violence. In the direct violence, the fracture is generally in the transverse fracture, and indirect violence it is as a result of forcible flexion and extension of the body. The lungs get injured by blow, that is by blunt weapon impact and the form of contusion and laceration. And if the impact is severe, there may be internal laceration, or otherwise the laceration is a result of pierced by the fractured fragment of the uh, ribs or the sternum. And if the impact is again severe, it depends on the severity. There may be injury to the lobes or part of the lobes. They may be detached. And the major vessels, especially in the hilum, may be torn and laceration of the lungs that we have discussed already. And in some cases, when the person is treated in the ICU by on ventilator for a longer period, the uh, lungs will get injured. That is, in head injury cases, when patient maintained on respirator, that is on ventilator, you can appreciate there is an areas of collapse and hemorrhage it in the form of hyaline membrane formation. It is the result of long-standing ICU treatment, that is on ventilator care. The lungs will suffer. There is a minimal bleeding into thoracic cavity, which resulting tension pneumothorax, which causes death on several hours after. The tension pneumothorax is a life-threatening condition which develops when there is an entry of the air. The air is trapped in the pleural cavity under positive pressure, which displacing the mediastinal structures and compromising cardiopulmonary function. And there may be sudden death following minor pulmonary injury, which can result from cardiac inhibition due to mechanical injury to the pleura. Yes, and there is an contracoup injuries we can appreciate in the lungs. The sudden compression of the chest, which may produce contracoup contusions in the lungs. Yes, here is an X-ray showing tension pneumothorax. It is almost on the right side. There is entry of the air. There is entire collapse of the lungs. When it comes to heart, heart shows the contusions and lacerations either by direct violence on the chest or by compression of the thorax against steering wheel. It is in the drivers in the road traffic accident. There may be compression of the chest against the steering wheel. There may be contusion or laceration and may or may not with external injury or fracture of the ribs or sternum. As we discussed in the earlier, externally the chest wall appears to be normal, but internally the impact led to contusion or even laceration of the heart. Blunt cardiac trauma, which is insufficient to produce gross or microscopic damage, can cause ventricular fibrillation or even a systole. The cardiac contusions are generally seen on the anterior surface of the either ventricle, the right or left ventricle, or on the anterior surface of the interventricular septum. Generally, it is seen on the anterior surface. And again, you can see the contracoup contusions in the heart also. There is a brain, lungs, liver, and heart will show the contracoup contusion. It is seen over the posterior wall of the left ventricle generally. When the pressure is on the anterior surface, contracoup injuries are seen on the posterior wall of the left ventricle generally. And cardiac concussions by sudden forcible impact at mid anterior chest wall. It is like commotio cardiacis, like commotio cerebrae. Here is the commotio cordis. It is concussive injury. Structural, no damage, but there is an injury which led to vasovagal shock, like that. The heart, there may be laceration. There may be laceration of the pericardium in the heart, may caused by fracture of the ribs or sternum. or even there may be forcible compression leading to laceration, that is like steering wheel compression. But most commonly the fractured ribs or sternum pieces pierce. Death may be occur from shock, hemorrhage, and cardiac tamponade or pericardial tamponade. Cardiac tamponade is again a serious medical condition in which the blood or fluids which fill the pericardial space, that is a space between the sac with that encases the heart, that is pericardial sac, and the heart muscles. This places the extreme pressure on the heart, and this pressure prevents the heart ventricles from expanding fully, and our heart cannot pump enough blood to the rest of our body when this happens, which leads to organ failure, shock, and even death. So that is extravasation of fluid in the pericardial space, which preventing the action of the heart in the form of pumping. Yeah, here is the pericardial tamponade. The entire space is covered by blood. It is seen by blunt injury to the chest. Here is the cardiac tamponade, a buildup of blood or other fluids. It is and it is engaging almost entire pericardial sacs, which puts pressure on the heart, which may prevent it from pumping effect. Then penetrating injuries, most oftenly the stab wounds. The stab wounds of the hearts are very dangerous. Even the mere 200 to 300 ml of blood can cause death by increasing intrapericardial pressure. That's all about the regional injuries of the chest. Now we'll move to the regional injuries of abdomen. Yes, the abdominal organs like esophagus, liver, pancreas, gallbladder, stomach, and intestine will get injured with different forms of and different severity impacts on the abdomen. And again, we can classify it into open and closed. The abdominal injuries are as a result of accident, homicide, as well as suicide. The first one, penetrating or open injuries. The stabbing is the most often and followed by firearm injuries, and accidentally it is by bull gore or fall from height on the pointed object which is placed on the surface, and most commonly injured are small intestine followed by colon and liver. So this is homicidal, stabbing or firearm, accidental by bull gore or fall on the pointed object, and suicidal. The suicidal is called as harakiri. That is a suicidal stabbing puncture injury over the abdomen. Here the person decided to kill himself and he uses the ritual sword. It is one time it is forcibly the suicide by disembowelment with the sword. Here you can have a look in this picture. It is a suicidal penetrating injury over the abdomen. The person getting pierced into the abdomen, or he may even falls forward on the this ritual sword. So you can have a look in this punctured or penetrating injuries of the abdomen. Most of the time homicidal. One, two, three, and four homicidal penetrating injuries on the anterior aspect of the abdomen. Here is again a stab injury. The knife is in situ. These two are homicidal. This is suicidal. And here is an accidental penetrating injury, that is bull gore. It may be a result as a result of sometime sports, or maybe accidental. The bull attacks the person, like sports like a jallikattu. It is commonly practiced in some parts of the Tamil Nadu, or otherwise it is very famous in some western countries. There is penetrating injury by the bull. Then blunt injuries abdomens are most of the time it is as a result of accident, that is road traffic accident, or blow over the abdomen in the sports. We can have this like a basketball, sorry, the football, or saucer, or even other any sports. You can most of the time the blunt injuries are happening, and very rarely fall from the height on the hard blunt surface. And most oftenly injured organs are spleen, about 40% of the time, then followed by liver, it amounts about 33%, then renal about 20 to 22%, and less often the intestine. The any blunt injuries over the abdomen are more often greater mortality. There will be an mortality rates will be more. It may be due to injury to the organs, or even due to a shock. As a result of shock, the vasovagal shock, the person may succumb. We will discuss one by one the regional injuries of the abdomen. First comes to the abdominal wall. The cause of the injury is generally it is a collision sports, that is football or soccer, where there is an most of the time the impact are most expected, like football players. Then second of common cause is fall from the height on the rough surface. And the even though the externally the wall appears to be normal, but the person complains of internal pain, or otherwise the clinically the signs of internal injuries are in the form of hematoma under fascia of that surrounding muscle tissue, or patient complains pain and tightness within the region. So it is always advised whenever suspected blunt trauma to the abdomen, it is advised to keep the person for observation, keep measurement of the abdominal girth on timely, and if required you can take an X-ray of the erect abdomen. It may show the signs of internal injury. And in the observation, the care is in the form of cold pack and compression, and conservative management, that is keeping the person nil by mouth and providing some IV fluids. It is all about the wall injuries, abdominal wall, whenever there is suspected abdominal wall injury. Then comes to the internal organs, the stomach and intestine. The cause of injury is the blunt trauma, the forces of compression, that's forcible compression of the abdominal wall, and very rarely the bursting effect forces. Whenever there is explosion at the area, there may be some blunt trauma to the abdomen, and the internally the GI tract will injured. And penetrating injuries are generally as a result of stab or fall on the pointed objects. And the clinical signs are in the form of large contusions if it is blunt trauma, as well as rarely the perforation. And there may be a paralytic ileus, and thrombosis and hemorrhage. You can see in the GI tract. And the care is the keep the organs moistened if it is compound injury, open injury, keep the organs moistened with a sterile gauze and secure the dressing with bandage before the patient is shifting to the hospital. It is to avoid the contact with external area, that is the air or the infection. To avoid the external contacts, it is keep the dressing, secure the dressing and bandage and keep the organs moistened. Yeah, here is an penetrating injury of the abdomen. It is stab wound. Here the part of the intestine is protruded out. There are two penetrating injuries, and on laparotomy, the injury generally the because the intestines are in folding, there will be multiple pricks we can appreciate. One in the anterior aspect, one in the posterior aspect, then another in the folded GI tract like that, and sometimes there is a injury to the mesentery also. Yes, here is the mesentery got injured. Then when it comes to the mesenteric artery, it is common in accidents, road traffic accidents and fall from the height. There may be an laceration of single large mesenteric artery which resulting to death due to massive intraperitoneal hemorrhage. If there is just a single large mesenteric artery is lacerated as a result of blunt trauma to the abdomen, which is enough to cause death due to peritoneal hemorrhage. Then pancreas. The pancreas are generally injured due to compression forces. When there is a viscera is crushed against spine and when the stomach is empty, the pancreas is most oftenly injured in the form of contusions, avulsions, lacerations, or even perforations. And the death is often of within few days. It is due to inflammation. Then comes to liver and gallbladder. Most of the time they will injured by due to blunt trauma like road traffic accident, fall, or in the sports injuries, or in the homicidal kick, or even some very rarely fisting into the abdomen. And more susceptible if the liver is enlarged, like some infection or inflammation, like hepatitis case. When there is a person is suffering hepatitis, when the organ is enlarged, it is most oftenly ruptured, suffered. And when it comes to the lobes, the right lobe is most oftenly injured compared to left in the ratio of about 5 is to 1. The right lobe most oftenly injured. The signs are in the form of hemorrhage and shock, and there will be a referred pain in the right scapula, right shoulder, and substernal area, and occasionally in the left anterior side of the chest. Keep it in mind. There may be a referred pain in the liver injury. It is generally on the right scapula, right shoulder, and substernal area, which it definitely misleads, or even very rarely even the left anterior side of the chest. It may require immediate surgery. If there is a laceration, definitely requires laparotomy. Yes, you can have a look here. Laceration of the liver here, multiple lacerations, and most often on the right lobe. It's on the posterior surface, and here in this picture you can have multiple lacerations on the anterior surface of the right lobe of the liver. Whenever there is a blunt injuries to the abdomen, the liver is lacerated and there is a hemoperitoneum. Unless there is a immediate surgical intervention, the death is often. The grading of the liver lacerations, that is depend on the position, it is graded as grade 1, that is transcapsular laceration, grade 2 subcapsular laceration, grade 3 the parenchymal laceration, grade 4 the coronal laceration, grade 5 it is crust laceration. Crust laceration, and the last one is it is contrecoup laceration. Contrecoup laceration of the liver. Then comes to spleen. It is the second most common abdominal organs to get injured after the liver, and the cause of injury is again here blunt trauma or even the forces compression and traction of the abdomen. The signs are in the form of shock, abdominal rigidity, nausea, and vomiting. And again, the spleen is ruptured whenever there is infection again. And the care is in the form of conservative treatment for a week observation, that is hospitalization and observation, or otherwise most of often the splenectomy is the procedure. It is practiced most commonly practiced whenever there is a spleen injury, because there is continuous, the gradual bleeding will be the result. So it is to avoid the peritoneal bleeding, it is advised to go for splenectomy. Here is the avulse laceration of the spleen. Again, the spleen trauma is graded. The grade 1 is minor subcapsular tear or hematoma, just a mere hematoma, not even there is no tear, but there is a hematoma. And grade 2 is parenchymal injury not extending to hilum, and grade 3 is major parenchymal injury even involving vessels and hilum, and the grade 4 is a totally shattered spleen. Here you can have a look. Here the spleen is almost shattered. The entire uh, it's most of the area it is lacerated. Then comes to kidneys, the third commonest. The cause of the injury is either in the form of direct trauma or indirect trauma. The direct trauma to the flank or lumbar region. Whenever there is blunt impact on the back of the flank, it is in the form of assault or fall on the back. There may be injury to the kidney is expected on the flank or on the lumbar region. And indirect trauma, it is in the form of hyperflexion or hyperflexion followed by hyperextension, or again fall from the height when the person is landing on the pelvic area, that is on the hip. There may be an indirect pressure transmitted to the kidneys. Then the signs and symptoms in the form of again shock or nausea and vomiting. Then there is a rigidity of the back on the muscles, and rarely in the form of hematuria. And again there will be an rapid pain around the trunk, and the care is in the form of the hospitalization for 24 hours, observation with gradual intake of the fluids. Then surgery may be required if there is an hemorrhage or hematuria which continues. Then injury to the urinary bladder. The cause is blunt force to the lower abdomen. It is in the form of sports injuries or kick, and the bladder is most oftenly injured if it is distended with urine compared to the empty bladder. Then iatrogenic causes, that is forcible catheterization. When there is a non-trained person try to catheterize, he may injure the bladder, and rarely in the procedure like cystoscopy there will be a injury to the urinary bladder. The signs and symptoms are in the form of pain, discomfort of the lower abdomen, abdominal rigidity. Again, there is a nausea, vomiting, and shock, and there will be bleeding from urethra, that is hematuria, in the form of hematuria. And very rarely there is inability to urinate in case of ruptured bladder. The distended bladder, here is again the distended bladder, and here is you can expect the rupture. Then comes to the injury of the pelvic regions, that is genital organs. The male genital organs, the cause of the injury is blunt trauma like kicking, like homicidal kick, or sometimes there will be a torture, then fall from the height, sports injuries, then bull gore, that is penetrating injury. Most of the time that is a blunt trauma like kicking, and the torture, that is torsion of the testes, the male testes, the torsion of the genitals, that is torsion of the testes is most often it is in the form of torture. Then compression or crushing of the testis results sudden death due to cardiac inhibition. Here again, yes, we are aware that sometimes very rarely a small, that is a trivial trauma to the scrotum, it can leading to death. It is because of vasovagal shock, that is cardiac inhibition. Even sometimes the externally absolutely there is no signs of injury in any part of the body, but the person succumbed to the injury. So especially if the victim is a male, there is no external injury, there is no blunt signs of a blunt trauma to the chest or wall, or there is no intracranial injuries, so it is advised to check for the injury to the male genitals, especially the scrotal region. So whenever you have any doubts, it is advised to put an incision and check for any extravasation of blood in the scrotal region. And very rarely there is an amputation of the external organ of male genitals. It is maybe as a part of torture, or most oftenly it is a punishment for the serial rapist. And the person is a criminal known rapist, the punishment is passed in the form of amputation of the male genitals, that is the penis is amputated here. The signs and symptoms are the nauseating and vomiting, then disabling and painful condition. It is very much painful condition. The patient may fall on the ground by holding the male genitals in the hand. We can have a look in the next picture. Sorry. The care is place the person on the right side with the knees to the chest. That is, ask him to flex his knees towards the chest. That is, some amount of the pressure, the force, compression force will relieve the pain. Or otherwise, most oftenly, most uh, effective is application of cold pack, which may subsides the pain, or you can give some analgesics either orally or even parenteral route is most effective. Here you can have a look. Yes, as I explained in the previous slides, whenever there is no other injuries or visible injuries, it is advised to put some incision on the scrotal area and check for any extravasation of blood. It may be a case of torsion of the testis. Very rarely, even there is no extravasation also here. When there is a torsion of the testis, when there is a kick, you can expect this extravasation of blood. Yes, the person is fall on the ground. That is, he is by holding the genitals. It is very much severe condition. The person is expressing his pain on the falling on the ground. Then comes to the female genital injuries. The cause of injuries are here again contusions and lacerations due to kick during assault, and often the cause for this female genital injury is attempt of criminal abortion and fall on the projectile surface. Then the compression injuries to the pelvis, very rare. The laceration of the vaginal wall during delivery, when it's again unexperienced person, or there is extended duration of the second uh, phase of the delivery, there may be laceration. And when there is assisted labor, there is injury to the vaginal wall is most expected. The rupture of the gravid uterus, either by blow or by kick, it is more oftenly possible. Then the signs and symptoms are again in the form of pain abdomen, lower abdomen, and profuse bleeding per vagina. You can have a look here, this picture. There is a vaginal profuse bleeding. That is all about the regional injuries of chest, abdomen, and pelvis. And when it comes to the probable questions, it may be in the form of cardiac tamponade, or it may be in the form of flail chest. Then when it comes to the abdomen, it is the penetrating injuries of abdomen. And when it comes to the area, there may be the female genital organs, injury to the female genital organs. The question may be asked in this forum. That's all about the regional injuries, all the regional injuries. We have completed almost the regional injuries of head to pelvic region. Then when it comes to the regional injuries of extremities, it is generally the lower limbs, especially it is most oftenly it is in the form of abrasion, laceration, or fractures as a result of blunt trauma. And the open injuries, very rarely the compound fracture or the firearm injuries to the leg, especially the police firing. So not much. And most probable question of the regional injuries of lower extremities is bumper fracture, that is fracture of the uh, shaft of the tibia and fibula, which are the most common bumper fracture, or very rarely the fracture of the knee joint, that is in the form of, that is lower end of the femur, and injury to the uh, this tear of the lateral and medial meniscus, or any other fractures we can discuss. That's all about the regional injuries. And in the next class, I am going to conclude the injuries with discussion about legal aspects of the injuries. Thank you.